Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. For those of you who have not watched my first real talk finding my path video, I suggest that you watch that one first, only because this is kind of a continuation of a lot of the topics that I've talked about in that video, so some of it might be slightly confusing if you haven't watched my past videos. Essentially, these videos are just real updates on my life, and I guess more so some of the more difficult aspects of things that I'm going through. By sharing this, my hope is that I can help relate to people. I know when I filmed my last video, I had people comment and say, that they appreciate me sharing that, but that they are going through similar things. So I appreciate you guys for being here. I also appreciate your patience with the lighting change at the minute. The sun is just in and out of clouds, and our place is pretty messy right now, so this is the only aesthetically pleasing area for me to film at the moment. Anyway, let's get into the video. In all honesty, I am at a very similar, if not the same place as I was the last time that I filmed this video. The majority of the things in my life are the same. And obviously, realistically, that wouldn't be my goal for my life right now. But again, I'm just trying really hard to be okay with that. And I think that's kind of the point of these videos, and being more real and transparent about how my life is. Oftentimes when you film any sort of content, you're showing the really good positive parts of your life, or sometimes the more negative parts, but you're not always just showing the parts that are normal, like just an average day, or talking about it. And I think that's where I am as far as my life, and it's kind of crazy because I am 26. I know for a lot of people that might sound, still very young. And I know that, but I think it also consciously for me feels like I've always been a planner, and I've always kind of known what I wanted for my life. Even if I maybe wasn't at the place I wanted to be at, I knew where I was going. And this past year of 2024 has just shaken that entirely for me. In some respects in a good way, because I feel like I've grown and evolved tremendously as a person, and I think that has also shifted my view on life and what I want to get out of it. I am still in the same job position of being a coordinator for a grief program at a nonprofit, and I love my job. I'm very comfortable in the place that I'm in for the moment. It kind of feels like it's one of those things of, if I was older, if I was more established in my life, or if I had kids and family, all of that, I would not say that I wouldn't stay at this job forever. If I had come across this a few years down the line, the situation would be very different. I just spent so much of my life in school that I never explored different job opportunities as much, which for some people might be fine. For me, it's a little difficult. I have kind of this adventurous spirit that I never really had the opportunity to explore prior to the past few years. I mean, the past year even, really. So, and there is job growth to an extent. I mean, the program is very small, so my job is pretty much my job. I couldn't see the actual day-to-day tasks of the job being drastically different, but as far as potential and growth, it's definitely there. But I think at the moment there's so many other things that are at play for my future. I'm trying to take more time to be slow and conscious about the choices that I make and what I want to focus on. And this year, one of the biggest things is the wedding. I'm getting married in August of this year, 2025. I've gotten most of what I could get done early done for the wedding already. Now it's just waiting until those 3 months before, where everything is going to get a bit stressful. But I think it'll be a fun, good, stressful. So I'm trying to just focus this year mainly on that. Another thing is travel, as that's another passion of mine. Although due to the wedding and finances and stuff, we can't travel as much this year. But we are hoping to take a little domestic trip around the East Coast somewhere, and then there'll be the honeymoon. We're still not 100% sure on the honeymoon, so I'm not gonna say exactly where we're going. It will be in September though, time period, late September or early October, because my big work event is at the beginning of September, so I have to be here. So it's basically the wedding, major work event, honeymoon. That's what we're doing. And then we are also possibly planning a trip to Hawaii in December, because a friend of mine who was my old manager at the coffee shop I worked at is moving there, and she was like, you should come visit me. And I was like, okay, cool. And Hawaii was never on our top bucket list, must go locations, but I think it's so much cooler when you know someone there, because they can show you all the best spots, and on occasion you're able to stay with them, which saves a lot of money. And so, I mean, why not, right? So we will still be doing a fair amount of traveling this year, which I'm looking forward to. In general, on the day-to-day though, I'm just trying to be more conscious about how I use my time. I've always said I love reading, so I want to read more and spend less time scrolling on social media. I've also started writing letters. I've started focusing more energy into learning how to write poetry. I still would never say that I'm a great poet, but I enjoy it a lot. And I get, it's very therapeutic for me. In all honesty, I haven't been doing the best at all of those goals, mainly the not scrolling on social media thing, because I have been spending less time overall on my phone, I would say, but it's those little moments where maybe I have 5-10 minutes waiting for email response, or waiting for something to finish cooking, that it's not enough time for me to sit down and get invested in a book or write something. And what else do I do? I have such a problem sitting and just being. And for myself, along with most people, there is a healthy amount of being on social media. I like seeing what my friends and family and people close to me are doing with pictures and whatever, because it kind of makes you feel connected, or you're oh, that's cute. But at the same time, it does lead to a lot of comparisons. And for me, just the pressure of having my phone in general makes me more disconnected from the moment that I'm in, whether that be even just watching the television with Damick, or reading my book, or just sitting and trying to talk and have a conversation, going for a walk, whatever it is. Having my phone and feeling the need to constantly look and respond makes me more disconnected from that moment, and in turn then I am getting less out of that moment. So I am trying, but again, this is real, this is reality. I'm not doing perfect at it, for sure. And although I said I really just want to focus on this year, get through this year, there is still thoughts of what do I want for the future, because in a way you kind of have to prepare and set yourself up for what's coming next. There's a lot of unknowns with where we'll live, job prospects, student loans, all those things that might alter our plans for the future. I've also consistently talked about doing more volunteering trips. And I think Damik and I together are going to do one early next year. It would just be a shorter one in the States. But I really would like to do a more long-term thing. It's just a matter of timing. Most of them require a minimum of 2 months, and I don't think I could leave my job for that long and then come back. So I think it would have to be at a time where there was a natural transition anyway. But who knows? Like, you never know what the future is going to hold or what opportunities may present themselves. So it's all about just trying to be okay with not knowing. My biggest mental health struggle as of recently is that fear of not knowing what is in the future for me, not being able to make a plan, and struggling with focusing a lot on regrets that I've had in the past. There's a lot of decisions, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's a handful of decisions that I wish I wouldn't have made. Unfortunately, that handful of decisions is also one that significantly affected my life, more so it wasn't just like minimal small decisions. And I think if I wouldn't have made those, I would be a lot further in my life than I am now. It's something I work through a lot with my therapist, because she's like, you don't know that though. You don't know if your life would have been better or worse. And in part, I see truth in that, but at the same time, it's hard, because I think if I were younger, even like by a couple of years, I'd have a lot more room and time to make mistakes. But everyone is on their own timeline, and I just have to trust that this was, for whatever reason, the plan and the place that I was supposed to fall into. YouTube has been getting a bit harder for me, mainly just because I'm struggling to come up with video ideas of things that I actually want to film. Vlogs are always fun because I like watching those back, but sometimes they get pretty repetitive unless they're travel vlogs or something. The average vlog is not super exciting. I will admit though, I don't try as hard as maybe I could with it. And in all honesty, I don't know if I ever will, mainly because social media is and never really was my top priority. I think if you're going to be successful in social media, there has to be a part of you that craves that attention and validation from other people. And I have that certainly, but I don't have enough of it to really apply myself. And it's kind of funny because Damik is actually more into filming and editing things than I am. So we have talked about like him coming onto the channel and us doing it more so together kind of thing. He's the type of person who doesn't like to commit to something if he can't like fully jump in and commit. So I think for him, he has to think about it more, because if he does want to come on and put out these videos, he wants them to be good and he wants to put the effort into it. He has a lot of different like filming equipment and stuff, so I could see him having a really good time with it. But again, it's just about like what kind of videos that we would want to film together. So we'll see. We're working on it. I think it also is dependent on a lot of our life changes and what would be good content. So that is going to be the end of this video at the moment. I hope that you enjoyed it and found something that was relatable. I love talking with people, so if you did, please leave a comment or DM me on Instagram. I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button below to see future content. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!